Hey everyone, my name is Tanya, and welcome to episode 3 on Deported to Paradise. We're going to be talking about mental health this time around. So, I got deported 2.5 years ago. One of the things that I wish I would have done when I first got here was to take care of my mental health. Um, I know people think it's a given, but for me it was not. I knew it was going to be bad. It was going to be hard, but I did not think it was going to be as hard as it is and was. So when I first got to Mexico, my mom was with me for about, I don't know, 4 to 6 weeks, somewhere around that. And once she left is when it got real. That's when I kind of, oh my gosh, everybody that I love and that I know is a million miles away from me. I'm here all alone, well, with Tupac and Cube, but back then I only had Tupac and he was just a little baby. So that's just when it hit me, and that's when I started getting really depressed. Um, I couldn't sleep. I I wouldn't eat. I wouldn't eat for days at a time. When I got to Mexico, I weighed 180 pounds, which even my mom was like, "Oh my gosh, I thought you were going to be really thin." Um, I don't know what they put in that prison food, but it makes you gain a lot of weight. So I weighed 180 when I got here. Now I weigh 128 or so, which is not bad in 2.5 years, but I lost that 50 pounds within the first 5 or 6 months of being here. I I would put on my clothes and they would just fall off because they just wouldn't fit. I didn't gradually lose it. I lost it all at one time, which I knew was bad, but I just couldn't eat. I wasn't hungry. I felt sick to my stomach all the time. I was crying all the time. It was just, it was just bad. I mean, I prayed every night that God would take me because I just did not want to live another day, and it was just so difficult for me because I hated the nighttime. I hated the daytime. I was just miserable, and at that time, I, I didn't want to get help, because I'm down and deep in my depression that, um, you know how it is. Everybody, I think, has been depressed at one point or another. And when you're in it, it's like you don't want to do anything, much less talk about what's going on with somebody that you don't know. So, um, but eventually, I I had to. I had to because I would be, calling my mom, crying to her, which then would give her depression, or affect her mental health. And that's another thing. So the people in your life are also affected by your deportation and might also need help with their mental health. Deportation doesn't just affect the person that got deported, it affects a lot of people that love that person, and we all need help with our mental health at some point or another. So at that time, I was still working at the call center, which I hated anyways. But, little by little, I started going to therapy. I got a hobby. I started doing diamond art paintings. And then right about the same time is when I started my TikTok. Uh, Deported to Paradise is also my TikTok handle. So for me, talking about it to y'all, to my TikTok audience, like that helps me tremendously. Like I just lay it all out there. I tell it how it is. I tell the truth. I know some people might not like it. Some people, think it's too much, and it might be, but it's my life. That's what I've gone through, and I'm not ashamed of anything. I can't be ashamed of anything that I've done because that's what was keeping me in addiction. So I just have to forgive myself for everything. And for me, one of the biggest steps is coming on here and talking about it and trying to help other people get through, whether it's addiction or deportation or just anything. I mean, I've been through so much in my 47 years that, anything I can do to help people, that's something that helps me as well. Um, so yeah, I started going to therapy, and I'm still in therapy now. It did get better a little bit of time. Like we made different goals. This is Tupac. Um, we made little goals like I would have to eat once a day every single day, like right now it's just trying to get out because I'm still not meeting people. I'm still not going out. I mean, I'm here just about 24/7 with these two. Like I so the goal is for me to start going out, like instead of getting Walmart delivery, I go to Walmart and get my groceries there. So just little things like that that I need to keep doing consistently. Baby steps will hopefully in the long run make it easier for me to, start doing things that normal people do. But one thing I am really proud of is that I didn't use. I mean, this would have been the perfect time for an addict like me to start drinking. And I mean, who would have known? Everybody that knows me is a million miles away from me. So I could have drank and been okay, but I know, I know that it wouldn't have just been a drink. It would have been a drink every single day, and not a drink. It would be a 12 pack, or, the drinks would lead to other things. And I definitely don't want to be addicted to anything here in Mexico. I have no idea what it would be like, except for I know it would not be good. It would pretty much lead to my death, I think. So I am very proud of myself that I did not use, and I've almost got 6 years clean. So I'm very grateful and thankful about that, and I'm just glad that I didn't go back to using. So um, right now, I am, just trying to get better. And I'm just, like I said, I started eating, started talking to y'all, and it just helps so much. So whether you got deported, whether you self-deported, or whether you left the country because you wanted to, we're all going to grieve something about the place that we left. Of course, somebody that got deported is going to be a little bit more, than somebody that just moved here, on their own decisions or whatever. Um, Not to say that it's still not bad. I mean, we all mourn, but it just, if you can go back, then I know I can't go back. So that makes it just that much more difficult. And a lot of people that I see, like on TikTok and stuff, that got deported are either married, have kids, they come out and see that person, every other month or whatever. I'm completely alone. I'm not married. I don't have kids. My mom comes and sees me, which, oh my gosh, I greatly appreciate that. But it's still hard, because I don't know. It's so weird and it's so hard to explain unless you've been through it. Like, I don't know how to be around people, including my mom, but then I also don't know how to be alone, so it makes it really hard to know how to act. I mean, it sounds weird and crazy, but it's just so it's just difficult. Like, I don't ever feel normal, because either I'm by myself and I don't know how to be, or I'm with around other people and I don't know how to be then either, So, and I'm working on all this with my therapist, but, you know, I'm just hoping that one day, one day, I will be able to get back to somewhat of normal. You know, I know none of us are normal, but to the normal that I was at one point, you know. So, and just if you're going through this, just remember, uh, get help, you know, whether it's a therapist. If you can't afford a therapist, then talk to friends, family, loved ones, you know, somebody that understands. Get a hobby, make yourself go out, you know, get dogs. My dogs were, they saved my life. Tupac especially, because Tupac's been with me since the beginning, and Cube I just got about a year ago. But Tupac saved my life because that gave me a reason to get up in the morning, to feed him, and to be with him. So get plants, just do things that are out of your comfort zone, really. And I'm starting to do that a little bit, but it's still very hard. So I just remember that your mental health is so important, and start taking care of it as soon as possible when you get to wherever you're getting deported to. So, so yeah, that's the episode for this week. I will be back next week. I'm not sure what we'll be talking about, but please subscribe, comment, like, and share, and let me know if you have any questions. All right, well, thank you so much for watching, and I hope everybody has a great week. Bye bye.